My beloved child, pause in this very moment. Not because I want to frighten you, but because your mind has been running for so long among countless sounds that your heart has almost forgotten how to listen for peace. Sit down for a while. Everything that has been demanding your attention. Close the unfinished thoughts and allow yourself to be fully present here. Breathe in slowly. Hold your breath for a moment, and then gently exhale. Can you sense the very small change that has just passed through you? The circumstances outside may still be the same. The room may look unchanged, and your problems may not have disappeared. Yet the chaos within you has softened a little. It is within that fragile silence that I want to draw near and remind you that you do not need to keep chasing every voice. Nor do you need to answer immediately everything that demands a reaction from you. I know that you have become accustomed to living in haste. The moment a word touches an old wound, you want to explain. When a look makes you uneasy, you rush to find the reason. When someone leaves in silence, you immediately ask yourself what you did wrong. Your mind constantly gathers fragments of circumstance and tries to assemble them into an answer. But the harder you try to understand, the more exhausted you become. Therefore, I am not asking you to stop in order to keep you from moving forward, but to prevent you from moving ahead with a troubled heart. Some decisions, when made in anxiety, will lead you somewhere you never truly wanted to go. Some words, when spoken from hurt, will create consequences that take a long time to heal. And some doors, when opened out of fear of being left behind, will lead you into a room that was never meant for you. The stillness into which I am leading you is not meaningless emptiness, nor is it a punishment separating you from the world. It is the place where I remove from you the sounds that do not belong to truth. You have heard too many opinions, too many judgments, and too much advice from people who do not fully understand your journey. Some tell you that you must speak immediately so that others will not look down on you. Some urge you to fight in order to reclaim what was lost. Some tell you to leave, while others insist that you must remain at all costs. In the middle of these conflicting voices, you gradually lose the ability to recognize what you truly need. That is why I draw you back into quietness, not so that you will be alone, but so that you can distinguish the voice of fear, the echo of an old wound, and the guidance that leads to lasting peace. Understand that not every separation is a loss. There are times when I draw you away from the crowd in order to protect what is still tender within you. A newly planted seed cannot endure too many hands digging around it. A wound that has only just begun to close should not be touched repeatedly. A newly illuminated decision needs time to take root before it is exposed to the opinions of others. You do not need to share everything happening within you with everyone. Not everyone who loves you has the wisdom to understand what you are going through. And not everyone who listens knows how to protect what you entrust to them. Privacy in this season does not mean closing your heart. It means placing boundaries around what is precious until it becomes strong enough not to be shaken by outside voices. I know that sometimes you fear that if you remain silent, others will misunderstand you. You worry that if you do not explain, they will write an untrue story about you. But my beloved child, you cannot spend your entire life correcting every thought in someone else's mind. You can speak truth and still be doubted. Live kindly and still be misunderstood. Give your best and still be judged by those who only see what they want to see. If you chase after every evaluation, you will place the key to your peace into hands that do not know how to value it. Let the way you live speak in place of long defenses. Let time reveal what arguments cannot make clear. Truth does not require you to exhaust yourself defending it. What belongs to the light will eventually find its own way out from beneath every covering. Within this pause, I want you to observe where your reaction is coming from. Do you want to respond because your heart is clear, or only because you are afraid of being disrespected? Do you want to hold on to that person because of genuine love, or because you fear the emptiness they may leave behind? Do you want to enter that conversation in order to build reconciliation, or merely to win? These questions are not meant to condemn you, but to bring you back to honesty. Sometimes what hurts you is not only the action of another person, but an old wound borrowing the present situation in order to speak. If you react before recognizing this, you will treat the present as though it were the past. I want you free from that cycle. I do not want you to keep fighting today's people with yesterday's pain. Let calmness become the place where you stand before making a choice. When your heart grows heated, do not rush to send the message. When you are provoked, do not decide the future of a relationship. When exhaustion covers you, do not conclude that all hope is gone. Give yourself room to breathe. A full night of sleep, and a morning without pressure. Then look again with clearer eyes. Wisdom rarely arrives in the noise of immediate reaction. It often appears after you allow your emotions enough time to settle. I am not telling you to deny what you feel. I am only teaching you not to let a temporary emotion become the driver of a long journey. There are things about to be entrusted to you that require a steadier heart rather than a hurried one. You have prayed to enter wider places, but in order to carry new responsibilities, you must learn not to be shaken by every word spoken around you. You have desired healthy relationships, but first you must learn to listen without losing yourself, to love without abandoning yourself, and to leave what is not right without carrying bitterness. You have asked for a voice that can lift others, but for your words to become pure, you must learn not to speak from anger. These present silences are the place where I am forming that steadiness within you. Do not interpret this temporary withdrawal as proof that you have been forgotten. You have not been pushed aside, you are being preserved. Some doors have not opened because you still need time to understand that you no longer have to enter every place merely because you were invited. Some conversations have not happened because you need to learn that closure does not always come through an explanation. Some people are gradually moving away because the path ahead cannot be built upon the same old patterns. I am not taking anything good from you. I am only removing from your hands what has become a burden. Even if you once called it familiar, my beloved child, when I invite you to be alone for a moment, I am not asking you to turn your back on everyone. I only want you to separate yourself from the pressure to perform strength, please others, and prove that you are fine before me. You do not have to hide your weariness. You may admit that you are confused, hurting, and unsure of where to go. Honesty does not make you weak. It opens the door for healing to enter places you once locked away. When you stop running from your emotions, they no longer have to chase you. When you are brave enough to sit with your sorrow, it will gradually reveal what you need to release. When you stop condemning yourself, you will begin to see yourself with gentler eyes. Therefore, do not hurry away from this quiet moment. Let your heart settle before returning to the responsibilities waiting for you. You do not need to find every answer today. You only need to know which next step brings clarity, kindness, and peace. If you do not yet know what to say, remain silent a little longer. If you are not sure whether to stay or leave, observe a little more carefully. If your heart is still full of anger, wait until your words no longer carry the desire to wound. I do not pressure you through panic, guide you through threats, or require you to act in order to prove your faith. True guidance will make you clearer, freer, and more peaceful. Remember this: you do not have to react to everything simply because it appears before you. There are words you have the right not to answer, arguments you are allowed to leave, and questions that do not deserve your energy. Maturity is not having the final word, but knowing when silence is more valuable than a response. I am teaching you to protect what is sacred within you so that you no longer hand it over to situations that only want to awaken your wounded parts. Breathe once more, slowly and deeply. I am still here. You do not need to hurry. What is right for you will not disappear simply because you take time to listen. And when you leave this pause, you will no longer respond from fear, but choose from the peace I have gently awakened within you. My beloved child, the things that once pressed heavily upon you in silence are gradually being brought out of the hidden places, not to cause you greater pain, but so that you may freely enter a new stage of your journey. There are tensions you have carried for so long that you began to believe they were a natural part of life. There are fears that hid beneath an outward appearance of strength. There are also wounds that you buried quickly because you did not have the strength to look at them again. You thought time had made them disappear, but in truth, they were only lying still, waiting until you became strong enough to face them without being consumed by them. Therefore, when old emotions suddenly return, do not panic and do not conclude that you are back at the beginning. You are not moving backward. You are passing through the final layer of something that is ready to leave you completely. I know that there are days when your heart suddenly feels more sensitive. Memories you thought were asleep return, or an unexplained weariness causes you to withdraw from every noise. Do not blame yourself for those moments. Healing does not always arrive in the gentle form you expected. Sometimes, before peace can be established, what no longer belongs must be stirred so that it can leave the place it once occupied. Like a room that has been closed for a long time, old dust may rise when the door is first opened before the air becomes clean. What you are feeling does not necessarily mean something is wrong. It may be a sign that you are no longer willing to live beneath the weight that once depleted you. Allow yourself to rest. Breathe slowly and become honest about what is happening within. I am not bringing pain back to punish you. I am bringing light into places you once feared to see. Because what remains hidden for too long often controls your choices without your awareness. An old wound may cause you to continually please everyone. Fear of abandonment may cause you to hold tightly to relationships that are no longer healthy. Disappointment from the past may cause you to protect yourself by refusing to let anyone come close. I do not condemn you for these defenses. They were once ways you tried to survive very difficult seasons. But what protected you yesterday may become your prison today. Therefore, I am gently removing layer after layer of defense so that you no longer react from fear, choose from lack, or give power to things whose time in your life has already ended. You will also notice that your patience is changing. Things you once endured now disturb your heart more quickly. Disrespectful words you once ignored are no longer easy to accept. Places where you must make yourself smaller will feel increasingly narrow, and connections that only take from you will make your exhaustion more obvious. Do not assume that you are becoming harsh or cold. You are simply awakening to the value of peace. I am teaching you that kindness does not mean permitting others to cross every boundary, and love does not require you to remain where you are continually wounded. As your awareness matures, what you once called normal will no longer be enough for you to accept. This change may make some people unhappy, because they were accustomed to the version of you that always yielded, always explained, and always returned, even after being repeatedly disregarded. When you begin to say no, they may tell you that you have changed. When you no longer react in the way they expect, they may try to make you feel guilty. But my beloved, you truly are changing, and that is not something to be ashamed of. You are learning to honor what I have placed within you. You are understanding that peace is not a gift to hand over to anyone while waiting for them to return it. It is a garden you must learn to protect. Not everyone who knocks needs to be allowed inside. Not every apology is enough to restore trust. Not every long-standing relationship must continue if it leaves behind only exhaustion. There will be times when you look at yourself and feel unfamiliar. You may wonder why you no longer want to chase what once excited you, why familiar conversations suddenly feel empty, or why you need more silence than before. Do not fear this change. You are not losing your true self. You are leaving behind the layers formed by circumstance, fear, and the need for approval. The old version of you fulfilled its purpose. It carried you through difficult days, but it cannot lead you into the place I am preparing. You cannot enter a season of clarity while carrying every habit that once kept you in darkness. Therefore, some things must be released, not because they were entirely meaningless, but because they no longer fit the depth you are reaching. I am not removing anything truly precious from you. I am only taking away burdens that prevent you from using the strength planted within you. What truly belongs to you will become clearer when the chaos settles. Sincere people will not be afraid of your healthy boundaries. Right opportunities will not require you to betray your values. Healthy relationships will not make you continually question whether you are worthy of love. As you are cleansed from what drains you, you will discover that peace is not boring. It is simply unfamiliar to someone who has lived too long in instability. You will learn not to confuse tension with passion, control with care, or dependence with love. While old things are being removed, a new steadiness is also being formed within you. You may not yet see it fully, but your resilience is no longer what it once was. Words that used to keep you awake at night no longer have enough power to drag you back into the same spiral. Rejection that once made you collapse now helps you recognize where you do not belong. You can still feel sadness and pain, but those emotions no longer rule you for as long. This is quiet maturity. Strength does not mean you feel nothing. Strength means you feel deeply without allowing pain to decide who you will become. I am teaching you how to stand firm without becoming rigid. Protect yourself without losing tenderness, and move forward without carrying bitterness. Be patient with this process. My beloved, do not force yourself to understand everything in a single day, and do not demand that you always be strong. When you are tired, rest. When your heart is heavy, allow yourself to admit it. When you need help, do not hesitate to seek trustworthy people and appropriate care. I do not want you to use faith to deny signs that deserve attention. I want you to live with awareness, gentleness, and responsibility toward yourself. True healing does not force you to run from your emotions. It teaches you to move through them with light, wisdom, and patience. Every small step you take to care for yourself is an affirmation that you no longer agree to live as someone controlled by the past. Therefore, when you realize that you can no longer tolerate what once wounded you, receive it as a sign of clarity. When you no longer desire to return to old cycles, know that your heart is being strengthened. When what once shook you no longer holds the same power, understand that you have traveled farther than you realize. I am making your steps firmer, your voice calmer, and your heart more discerning. You are not losing control. You are learning not to let every circumstance control you. You are not drifting away from your true self. You are returning to the most honest part of you that was hidden beneath years of trying to survive. Keep moving forward, but do not carry what I have helped you lay down. You do not need to return and pick up old burdens simply because they were familiar. The road ahead requires a freer, more peaceful, and more steadfast person. I am preparing you not only to arrive somewhere new, but to have enough depth to preserve the good things that will be entrusted to you. What remains after this season of cleansing will not be weaker, but more genuine, enduring, and clear. You will no longer be easily broken by winds that once made you tremble. You will stand, not because life has become completely calm, but because a foundation has formed within you that outside chaos cannot sweep away. I am still here, leading you through every layer of change, until you realize that what is leaving you was never your strength, but only the chains that kept you from living fully in the light. My beloved child, you are gradually awakening. Do not turn away when you sense a very gentle movement within, because sometimes the most important thing does not arrive through a loud sound, but through a peaceful feeling that makes you want to remain still a little longer in the middle of a hurried life. I know that you have passed through many seasons of testing. There were days when you worked without seeing results, and nights when you prayed in silence, wondering whether your words had truly been heard. But today, I want you to understand that none of your tears were meaningless. No persistent step was forgotten, and no season of waiting was completely empty. What you once called delay may have quietly taught you endurance. What you once saw as failure may have helped you leave a path that no longer belonged to you. What exhausted you may have prepared within you a strength you have not yet recognized. I have seen you many times wanting to give up because you felt that you were too late, left behind, or no longer had enough opportunity to begin again. You compared your journey with the journeys of others and wondered why their doors opened faster, why their prayers seemed to be answered sooner, while you continued walking through long silences. But my child, your timing is not measured by the speed of the person beside you. Some seeds sprout after the first rain, while others must remain deep beneath the soil for a long time in order to form strong roots. Slowness does not mean rejection. Sometimes you are being held back because what is waiting ahead requires a more mature, discerning, and peaceful version of you. Imagine that your name has been written in a scroll of hope, not as a promise meant to make you sit still waiting for a miracle, but as a reminder that your life still contains unopened pages. Some things remain unseen, not because they do not exist, but because you are still being prepared to receive them with wisdom. As that scroll gradually opens, the first thing revealed may not be outward success, but clarity within your heart. You will begin to know whom to keep close, what to leave, which words to speak, and when to remain silent. You will no longer easily hand your peace to those who do not value it, nor will you continue trading your worth for approval. This is part of the unfolding into which I am leading you. The warmth and gentle pull within you do not need to become superstition or a pursuit of outward signs. I want you to use awareness to recognize the goodness inviting you to change. If your heart is urging you to live more honestly, listen. If you recognize that a habit needs to be changed, begin. If a relationship continually drains you, examine it seriously. If you have delayed something important because you fear failure, take one small step. True movement is not found only in temporary emotion. It is confirmed by the healthy choices you make afterward. I do not want you merely to say that your time has come. I want you to live as someone who is ready to enter it. Your quiet prayers do not need to become dramatic declarations in order to have value. They become powerful when you allow them to guide your life. When you pray for peace, practice leaving unnecessary arguments. When you ask for healing, stop returning to what continually reopens the old wound. When you desire a new beginning, stop clinging to habits that belong to a former season. When you pray for a door to open, prepare yourself with the ability to walk through it. Do not expect life to change while you continue holding everything that once kept you stuck. A miracle sometimes begins through a very quiet cooperation between grace and your decision. I know that many delays once confused you. Closed doors made you believe you were not good enough. People leaving caused you to think you were unworthy of love. Failed plans caused you to doubt your entire future. But when you look back with a calmer heart, you will realize that some doors closed to protect you from dangers you could not see. Some people left because they could not walk with the version of you that was growing. And some plans had to change in order to lead you somewhere more fitting. Not every loss is punishment. Some losses are liberation. Even if at first all you could feel was grief. My beloved child, the road ahead is being cleared first by bringing what is false within you into the light. I am helping you distinguish fear from discerning intuition, humility from the habit of diminishing yourself, patience from enduring something unhealthy for too long. As these boundaries become clearer, you will feel lighter. You will no longer need to over-explain choices that protect your peace. You will not need to apologize for growing, learning to say no, or no longer fitting places that once required you to shrink. Sacred preparation may happen quietly, but it changes the entire way you walk. Do not let urgent appeals cause you to act in panic. What is good does not need to threaten you in order to be trusted. I do not hold blessings like rewards that are released only when you type the right phrase or perform a specific ritual. No sequence of words can replace sincerity, and no comment has the authority to determine the value of your future. You may write down a commitment if it helps you remember your decision. But understand that what matters more is how you live afterward. Let the words, "My time is now," become a reminder that you will stop delaying what is right. Stop waiting for others to permit you to live better. And stop placing your life into the hands of people who take no responsibility for your peace. The acceleration you desire does not necessarily mean that everything will happen immediately. Sometimes acceleration is learning in a few months what once took years to understand. It is when you no longer return to the same painful cycle, when you recognize warning signs sooner, when you leave before being hurt again, or when you become brave enough to receive an opportunity you once feared. True speed is not measured by how quickly life changes, but by how quickly you stop resisting the lessons you have already been shown. Once clarity comes, you will no longer need to spend years proving what your heart already knows. I want you to awaken, but not so that you begin believing every event is a mystical sign. Awaken so that you can live responsibly toward yourself. Recognize that your health needs care. Your relationships need discernment. Your words need protection. And your time needs to be used wisely. Awaken to the truth that you cannot continue living in exhaustion and calling it sacrifice. Awaken to understand that love does not mean allowing others to cross every boundary. Awaken to know that you deserve respect. But you must also learn to respect yourself through your daily choices. Therefore, do not turn away from this reminder. But do not remain only in emotion. Step out and do something tangible for your new journey. Complete the task you have delayed. Put your living space in order. Rest enough. Send the apology that is needed. Or close the door that has continually stolen your peace. Each small action is a way of opening a new page in the scroll of your life. I will not abandon you halfway. I will remind you when you forget, lift you when you grow weary, and guide you back when you lose direction. Your time does not begin with a sound echoing from the sky. It begins in the very moment you choose to rise. Live clearly, and walk forward with mature faith.